as part of the construction team here, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about how construction's going. And I think we're on track, maybe even a little bit ahead of track. And it's crazy how quickly the concrete's going. So
So my name's Matt McKinnon, I'm Construction Manager for Reef Capital and Cormont condominium project. So my job here started really 3 years ago. We were still early in the planning design phase. That's when my construction starts, right? So our whole strategy was to build an efficient building on a certain schedule and cost that was going to meet our developer demands. And so where we're at right now is we started concrete late last summer. And we're about top out tower 1 right now. I'm about 14 days out for top out on the first tower. We've already started our MAPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing down the lower levels 0 through 2. And we're looking at substantial completion in Q4 next year. So we started making our way in the underground parking facility all the way across to the south side. We'll start going vertical on Tower 5 here pretty soon. And then we'll continue branching out down to arcing. We'll get going on the next 3 towers for me after that. So things are going great on our end right now. I think our budgets are right on track. We're supposed to be, our schedules and where we're trying to hit. So it's been a great process. I mean, think bringing Jacobson on too, right? There's a lot of contractors out there that could have done this project. You can hire at a GC and they'll build you what you want eventually. But I think with Jacobson, what they've been able to do is they've become a partner more than a GC for us. And when you can have a GC that shares the values, understands your schedules, your constraints, your budgets, they can help you hit that. And when they care more about your goals and values on a project, that's you have a true partnership and a really good project in our hands. So that's where it's at right now.
yeah, I imagine Jacobson learned a lot building this hotel. Maybe you could talk about some of the lessons they learned from that are helping them go with Cormont, keeping us on schedule, budget.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it comes down to our site logistics up here. Is, when you talk about outbuilding, you typically think you have a lot of room. It's turned into a city up here, right? And so with Jacobson, what they've really learned here is how to build in a city in a winter time. I think we've really mastered our winter contingency plans, how we're pouring all this concrete. The good part about it is all these structures are built very similarly for the mountain environment, the type of curb wall systems we're using, the type of concrete, how we're placing our ET slabs. They've learned a lot here from Hyatt, some lessons learned, and they're carrying it through Cormont, Four Seasons, and the other properties right now. So
just for fun for the group, how do you pour most of your concrete in the spring, summer, and fall? And they're taking advantage of the nice weather. It's crazy how much concrete they're pouring. If you want to talk about how they do it in the wintertime?
Yeah, so wintertime.
And by the way, just before Jim, I apologize for interrupting. This is one of the reasons it's so important to get the concrete built during the spring and summer and fall, is it lets you work inside that, doing everything else in the wintertime, right? But you do put concrete up in the winter. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little about that?
You're also, a lot of our concrete was done this winter. So we've poured just over 19,000 cubic yards to date as of this morning. So a lot of that came during this winter and through snowstorms. And Jacobson is not shy of pouring concrete the wintertime. A lot that goes into it is a lot of temporary heating, a lot of polyplastic, and then admixtures and plasticizers, different hot water that goes into all our mixes up there. So Jacobson has become a master how to pump concrete in late nights and early mornings during winter. So, yeah.
So, good. Any questions about construction or how construction's going while we got the construction guy here?
Someone here, we just passed over 250.
And that will scale up to what, 500, right?
Yeah, we'll be close to 500 at peak here, probably late next year, early 28. That would pretty funny because Jacobson, the one perk that we have at Jacobson is they do a lot of self-perform work at their concrete teams, which is always your critical path for your structure on any project. So that was one of the reasons he chose Jacobson, was their ability to self-perform concrete on the critical path of our schedule. However, they do sub out a lot of the work. So all your interior finishes, your exterior glazing, your mechanical, electrical, plumbing are all subcontractors, and they're all from Reef. So most of our workforce is from Salt Lake Valley, Utah County.
Well, this is one of our big advantages. If you've been to other ski destinations, Vail, for example, or Jackson Hole, there is not a city the size of Salt Lake that's 30 minutes away that you can pull your workforce from. So we're very fortunate in that regard. Or Montana. You flew into the airport here. Does it rival the ones in Dubai? Probably not, right? But at the end of the day, it's a nice new airport. It's spacious, and you probably notice it's new, right? So a couple of years ago, it was very hard to get concrete in Salt Lake City because they were using so much concrete at that airport that was really hard for other projects to get what they needed. But there was a massive workforce that was working on that airport. It's largely wrapped up now, and all those people became available. And that's worked out really well for us.